Dr. Elena Vasquez pressed her palm against the ancient metal surface, feeling the subtle vibrations that had been growing stronger for weeks. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a cavern that shouldn't exist according to every geological survey, the massive structure hummed with increasing urgency. The resonance patterns are off the charts, her assistant Marcus called from his monitoring station. Whatever's in there, it's definitely responding to the solar flare activity. Elena stepped back, studying the towering monolith that stretched up into the cavern's darkness. Its surface was covered in symbols that seemed to shift when observed directly, not quite holographic, but not entirely solid either. After 6 months of excavation, they still couldn't determine what material it was made from. "It's not responding to the flares," she murmured, pieces of an impossible puzzle clicking into place. "It's responding to something else. Something that's coming." Thousands of light years away, aboard the flagship of the Void Collective, Supreme Commander Nexar gazed at the tactical display with satisfaction. The armada stretched endlessly in all directions, 1,000,000 warships representing the combined might of 17 conquered galaxies. "Target confirmation received," his lieutenant reported, her cybernetic implants glowing as she processed incoming data. "Third spiral arm, Sol system. Primitive species, recently achieved interstellar capability. Standard extraction protocols." Nexar's scarred face twisted into what might have been a smile. "Negative. Full extermination. This sector was marked for complete resource harvesting decades ago. No survivors, no witnesses. The Collective had perfected this dance of destruction across eons. Identify promising worlds, strip them of all useful materials and energy, eliminate any species that might pose future complications." Earth had been catalogued and scheduled for termination since humanity first split the atom. Back in the Antarctic cavern, Elena watched in amazement as sections of the monolith began to separate, revealing intricate mechanical systems that operated on principles beyond human understanding. The air itself seemed to thicken with energy. "Dr. Vasquez," Marcus shouted over the increasing hum, "you need to see this." On his screens, satellite feeds from around the globe showed similar structures rising from ocean floors, mountain peaks, and desert sands. Massive constructs that had lain dormant for millennia were stirring to life simultaneously. "How many?" Elena asked, though she suspected she didn't want to know the answer. Initial count shows 37 major installations across all continents. But there are smaller structures activating 200s of them, maybe thousands. The monolith in front of them suddenly split open like a flower, revealing a chamber filled with swirling energy and what appeared to be a figure suspended in crystalline stasis. As the stasis field dissipated, the being within began to move. It was humanoid, but clearly not human. Taller than any person, with skin that seemed to absorb light and eyes that held the depth of ancient stars. When it stepped from the chamber, its bare feet left no marks on the ice, yet Elena could feel its presence like gravity itself had shifted. The being turned toward her, and when it spoke, the words appeared directly in her mind rather than reaching her ears. "The sleepers wake. The harvest ships approach. How long has it been since the seeding?" Elena's scientific mind raced to process the impossible. "Seeding? I don't understand. Who are you?" "I am Kethvar, guardian of the third seed. Your species calls this world Earth, though it has worn many names." The being's thoughts carried weight and sorrow that seemed older than mountains. "We placed you here when the first stars died. Nurtured you, protected you, until the Great War called us away." "Protected us from what?" Elena whispered. As if in answer to her question, the cavern's walls suddenly became transparent, revealing a view of space that shouldn't have been possible from their location deep underground. In the star-filled darkness, shapes were moving, vast geometric forms that blotted out constellations as they passed. From them, The Void Collective. They have found you at last. Kethvar raised one hand, and Elena felt power coursing through the planet beneath her feet. Around the globe, the awakened structures began to sing a harmonic frequency that resonated through space itself. Guardian installations coming online, Marcus reported, his voice filled with wonder. Energy readings they're impossible. Each site is generating power equivalent to a small star. The defenses were never meant to activate. Kethvar's mental voice carried deep regret. Your species was supposed to be ready, evolved beyond the need for protection. But the collective moves faster than anticipated. Above Earth's atmosphere, reality itself began to shimmer as the first Guardian weapons came online. Ancient technology that predated most star systems created barriers of folded space-time around the planet. On the collective flagship, alarms shrieked warnings that sent crews scrambling. Unknown energy signatures detected around the target world, the lieutenant reported, her confidence evaporating. Sir, these readings don't match anything in our databases. Nexar leaned forward, studying the tactical display with growing concern. The primitive planet was suddenly surrounded by defensive structures that radiated power beyond collective understanding. Send probe ships. Full reconnaissance. As the probe fleet approached Earth's outer defenses, Kethvar's presence filled Elena's mind with visions of a galaxy once filled with Guardian stations, protecting countless young species from the collective's hunger. Civilizations that had grown and flourished under gentle guidance, only to watch their protectors vanish when ancient enemies from beyond the galactic rim demanded the Guardians' attention. We lost that war, Kethvar admitted. Most of us fell. The few who survived went into stasis, hoping someone would continue the watch. But we slept too long. The probe ships made contact with the outer defense grid. The result was instantaneous. They simply ceased to exist, erased from reality by weapons that operated on principles the collective couldn't comprehend. Recommendation? Nexar asked his tactical officer, though his tone suggested retreat wasn't an option. Unknown, sir. Whatever those defenses are, they're beyond our technology level by several orders of magnitude. Elena watched through the Guardian's impossible viewing system as the massive collective armada hesitated at the edge of the solar system. Ships that could crack planets found themselves facing technology that made their weapons look like stone knives. This will not stop them permanently, Kethvar warned. There are too few of us left, and the defenses require living Guardians to maintain them. When I fall, the barriers will weaken. Then what's the point? Elena asked. Why wake up at all? The Guardian turned to face her fully, and in its ancient eyes, she saw something unexpected hope. Because your species is no longer the frightened children we placed here. You have grown, changed, become something we never expected. Kethvar gestured toward the monitoring equipment, toward humanity's nascent space technology. You have the potential to become the next Guardians, to protect not just yourselves, but others who will need shelter from the darkness. As the collective fleet began its slow retreat, recognizing a force beyond their ability to overcome, Elena felt the weight of cosmic responsibility settling on humanity's shoulders. The awakening Guardian had bought them time, but the real test was just beginning. In the depths of space, other ancient sleepers began to stir, responding to Kethvar's call. The age of passive protection was ending. The age of human Guardians was about to begin.